This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Today, Hey Av, the 5th day of Av, is a significant day on the Jewish calendar. Today is the Yahrtzeit of the Arizal, the Ari HaKadosh, Rabbeinu Yitzchak, the great Makubal who revealed the secrets of the Torah in the year Shin Lamed Hey. The year Shin Lamed Hey is the year 1575. So there is an amazing revelation that is brought in the Sefer Agar Dakala and Parshas Vayakel. Now the Agar Dakala of the Bnei Yissaschar says this revelation without citing the source, but we'll see momentarily what the makar of this is that the Ari HaKadosh was the Gilgal, the reincarnate of none other than Betzalel ben Uri ben Chor Lamata Yehuda, which is a wondrous thing because we know Betzalel was called Betzalel because Betzel Kel Haya, he was in the shadow of God, so to speak. When Moshe Rabbeinu had questions about the proper order of the Mishkan, and Betzalel had a certain opinion about it, Moshe said, how do you know? Were you sitting in God's shadow? In other words, Betzalel had the inside scoop. He knew the secrets of the Torah. And in fact, says Bnei Yissaschar, the Arizal was the Gilgal of Betzalel, who the Ari also was Megala, the Soidos of the Torah, to Klal Yisrael. Now it's very interesting, historically, even though the Ari taught many Soidos HaTorah, but he taught it primarily to his disciples, Reb Chaim Vital, but his students did not allow his knowledge and his teachings to be proliferated until the year Shemen, till the year 1630, Shin Memnun, Shin Tzadi, 1630. Based on this historical point, the Agar Dakala and Parshas Vayakel, Divrei HaMaschal, Medrash explains a very obscure Medrash, a very difficult Medrash, a cryptic Medrash. Chazal say on the pasuk, Toiv Shem Mishem and Toiv, better is the name than good oil. So the Bnei Yissaschar quotes a Medrash that better was the name of Betzalel than good oil. So what does this mean? What does it mean that the name of Betzalel was greater than good oil? So the Agar Dakala explains that this is a reference to none other than the Ari HaKadosh. Toiv Shem, better was it when the Ari was in the world, despite the fact that his teachings were cloaked and sealed off and hidden from people, Mishem and Toiv, then the year Shemen, then the year 1630, when his teachings began to be nisparsem and proliferated and widespread in the world. Toiv Shem, better when the Ari was alive, when the Ari is alive, says the Agar Dakala, Hayim Mesakein Belimudois Kol Ha'olam. Better was that than Mishem and Toiv, than the year 1630. Now it's interesting, where does Bnei Yissaschar get this from? That the Ari was the Gilgal of Betzalel. So the Bnei Yissaschar wrote footnotes on the Sefer Sur Meira V'asei Tov. Sur Meira V'asei Tov was written by Tzvi Hersh Mizudachov, who was actually the Rabbi of the Malbim in Kabbalah. Tzvi Hersh Mizudachov was called the Sar Beis HaZoyar. He was such a baki in the Zoyar. There was nobody who had mastery over the Zoyar like Tzvi Hersh Mizudachov, and the Malbim, being from a different almost a part of Yiddishkeit, if we could say. He was not necessarily a Talmud of the Hasidim, but he went to learn from Tzvi Hersh Kabbalah. So the Tzvi Hersh wrote a Sefer, Sur Meira V'asei Tov, and on the Sur Meira V'asei Tov we have footnotes from the Bnei Yissaschar. It's called His Yahrtzeit, and in the His Yahrtzeit, the Bnei Yissaschar quotes a Sefer Vayakel Moshe. Vayakel Moshe was written by the Makubal of Moshe Miprag, that he writes as follows: Heir Hashem Einenu b'shnas Shin Lamed Hey be'elef Hashishi. The Rebbeinu Shalom illuminated our eyes in the year 335. The year 335, Shin Lamed Hey, is the year 1575. The Rebbeinu Shalom illuminated our eyes through the neshama of Betzalel ben Uri ben Chor Lamata Yehuda vayimale oisai ruach chachma b'sfuna uvedas uv'chol malacha. Who was it? Nishmas Marein Rabbeinu Ari Halayhu Ar Shivas Hayamim, and through him Nasan Hamatzel Ritzainelian Rishus Luftayach Hamakairois V'tzinoirois Alyonim Barazai Daraisa. It's interesting that this Sefer Vayakel Moshe of Rav Moshe Prague, in his Hakdama, in the beginning of his Sefer, in the Maimer Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Tamid, he brings down an incredible explanation in a pasuk in Daniel based on the life of the Ari. Because we know in Daniel, Parak Yud Beis, Pasuk Yud Beis, Daniel says, Ashrei hamechake v'yagia liyamim. Fortunate is somebody who awaits the day Elef 1,000 shalosh meos shloishim v'chamisha, 1,335. And the Vayakal Moshe explains that this pasuk that Daniel says will be the year of the coming of the Mashiach, refers to the day of the day when the Arizal was born, when the Arizal came to the world, when the Arizal taught his Torah. In fact, says Vayakal Moshe, Elef refers to the Elef Hachamishis. Elef Hachamishi. It refers to the year 5000. And then 335 refers to the year Shin Lamed Hey. Shin Lamed Hey, of course, is the day of the teaching of the Arizal, the day that the Arizal's light was revealed to the world. So this light, says Vayakal Moshe, is what Daniel in the pasuk in Yud Beis and Daniel was referring to, that we should await and anticipate the day of the light of the Kabbalah, because ultimately, as we know, the Zohar says in Parshas Nasai, that it is this light that will usher in the coming of Mashiach. So in Rav Pinchas Friedman, the Shvilei Pinchas, in his Maimer on Parshas Masei, L'Kavod, Hey Av, for this year, he suggests a very beautiful thought connecting the Arizal to Betzalel. And that is, they both Betzalel and the Ari, both set on a similar mission, and that is Betzalel built the Mishkan, the resting place for the Shekhinah, the place where in this world the Rebbeinu Shalom has designated that he will reside there and be among the Bnei Yisrael. But as we know, the pasuk says, "Va'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'soicham," that the Rebbeinu Shalom says, you make the mikdash, but the primary resting place of the Shekhinah is in the neshama of every Jew. And that was the mission of the Ari, to elevate a Yid through a person's understanding of Hashem and the Torah, to elevate a Yid, that the Jew himself should become the Merkava, should become the Mishkan for the Kavod of Hashem. So Betzalel built the physical Mishkan, he built the Mishkan for the Shekhinah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Arizal taught Klal Yisrael how to elevate ourselves, how to elevate our neshamas through Yediyas Hashem, through Yediyas HaTorah, that we should be eligible, that we ourselves, that a Yid himself could become the Mishkan for the Kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zechusa Yagein Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.